Hello everyone, it's me, Jay Moshi, and today we're talking about a movie. Yeah! No one's ever talked about a movie on the internet before. But, you know, I'm not talking about a new movie that everyone's seen. I'm talking about a movie called Funny Face, starring Audrey Hepburn. Which, speaking of Audrey Hepburn, today we are also going to be attempting to draw Audrey Hepburn because I want to get better at likenesses, and I don't know how to do that. So, without wasting any time, let's get right into the movie. Funny Face is a film that was created in 1957 and stars Kay Thompson, Fred Astaire, and Audrey Hepburn. Let me take you through a rundown of this film. Spoilers if you've never seen it before, obviously. We start by introducing a fashion magazine company where Kay Thompson is the president and Fred Astaire is a lead photographer. They are trying to market clothes for an intellectual woman, but the woman they have doesn't do the job they want to convey. They end up taking pictures of the model at a bookshop where they meet Audrey Hepburn and have her in a few of the pictures, while also literally destroying her bookstore. Afterwards, while good old Fred is helping her clean up, they talk about empathy, and somehow he construes it in a way that makes it okay for him to kiss her without consent. Okay, Fred, let's put on the brakes, buddy, okay? After a musical number by Audrey, the president of the magazine company is still looking for an intellectual-looking girl to be used in their next fashion show. Fred barges in and recommends the bookseller, Audrey, because of how intelligent she is. He thinks they can dress her up and make her into a star. After bribing her to show up to the office with a book order, a horde of girls end up chasing her around the building because Audrey doesn't want to be a model. She stumbles into the dark room, which is a room where photographs are being processed. They don't use them too much anymore, but they used to back in the day. Where Fred is developing some photos of her. He explains why she would be a perfect model, but she thinks she has a funny face. Oh my gosh, it's the title! It's the title of the film! Oh my god! Anyway, Fred starts to sing a song about how she's beautiful, even though she has a funny face. Yes, everyone, Audrey Hepburn's face needs makeup because she looks too funny to be a model. This is the pinnacle of reality. You know what? Let's take a pause. Let's pause the movie for a second, okay? If you're liking this video, if you're liking me, if you like my art, why don't you consider liking the video and subscribing and saying along? Cause you know, this isn't the last video I'm gonna make, right? Yeah, totally. Obviously. Just stick around, you know. Anyway, back to the movie. Audrey is still unsure, but she gets bribed again because Fred promises to take her to Paris on their work trip so she can meet the great Professor Emile Foster, which is where Audrey learned everything about empathy. Audrey agrees, and the three set off to Paris. When Kay, Fred, and Audrey get to Paris, they all break out in song about how they love being tourists and how Americans should go to Paris to die because it's such an amazing city. That must be why French people hate us so much. Like, stop saying bonjour to everyone you meet. Stop talking in English to random people on the street. They're not going to understand you, Audrey. The next day, Audrey is supposed to go in for a fitting, but she is nowhere to be found. So, Fred goes to look for her at an intellectual and artsy bar. She's talking in English to three Frenchmen who seem to just want her to stay so she can keep buying the wine, as Fred demonstrates here.
Gentlemen, may I take this opportunity to tell you that you look like a mess of worms, and that you not only look like a mess of worms, but you are a mess of worms. And I'll bet you've been sitting at this table all these years, because if you ever left it, you'd be picked up on a vagrancy charge.
After she does a weird dance, she agrees to leave, and they have an argument about intelligence, and she gets mad. So, Fred does what Fred does best. Dancing! That gets all the girls back on his side, am I right, ladies? The next day, Audrey finally shows up, and they're able to dress her up and get her ready for the show. She looks so beautiful. I mean, it's not like she looked beautiful before. Then it's photo shoot time, where Audrey shows off her insane acting skills.
Now listen closely. Today you're not happy.
I'm hurt.
Right. Now you're a creature of tragedy. Heartbroken. Suffering. You're Anna Karenina.
Shall I throw myself under the train?
Also, Fred kisses her again. Are you kidding me? Then we get to a wedding dress picture. But Audrey can't do it because she's secretly in love with Fred. But she can't tell him because she's intelligent and he's not. Fred sings a song. She says, I love you. It's a whole thing. Finally, it's time for the big show. But guess what? Audrey is late because she hears that the great Professor Emile Flostel is going to be at the bar and she must go. Fred finds out and goes to get her so she won't be late for the fashion show thing. But she wants to stay because he's so cool. Audrey ends up going back to do the show, but her and Fred argue and one thing leads to another and the whole set is destroyed. Audrey runs away in shame and decides she doesn't want to be a model anymore in defiance. She must be intelligent. So for the second fashion show, she ends up at Professor Emile Floster's house for an artist party. Now, why is this a bad thing? Because Fred thinks that the professor has bad intentions. You know, the I'm a man and you're a woman, so let's do some stuff kind of intentions. But Audrey thinks the professor genuinely wants to get to know her to talk about empathy and intelligence. So Fred and Kay sneak into the party and sing a song so they can fit in and find the professor. They find him, and after a fight, Audrey still won't leave. So Fred and Kay storm off. Why is my phone ringing? Only to find out that the professor actually does want to talk to Audrey for bad intentions. Audrey smashes a statue on his head and runs away. Rightfully so. Audrey realizes her one true love is Fred, and she goes back to do the fashion show and apologize, but he's nowhere to be found. Snickers! Snickers, I'm trying to record something right now. He wants to go back to America because he's so upset about the situation. But by total happenstance, the professor is at the same airport Fred is at. He apologizes for giving him head injury, but the professor explains Audrey did that to him. Realizing this was Audrey coming to her senses, Fred finally uses empathy, puts himself in Audrey's shoes, and finds her at the place where their love blossomed in the first place. They do a dance, sing a song, off into the sunset. The end. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, again, you could subscribe, because we're only just getting started. My name is Moshi, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!